and just make a decision to enjoy whatever awareness occurs to you. This will be a good opportunity for you to improve your point of attraction. And that's really what as far as we are speaking, as far as we are knowing, and we are knowing, it's the thing that matters most. Your point of attraction is under your control, and it's more controllable than almost anybody understands. And once you get the hang of it, and then you get the manifested feedback, I felt this way and this happened. I felt this way and this happened. I felt this way without being deliberate and this happened. Or I felt this way and I was very deliberate and this happened. As you begin connecting those dots between how you feel about different subjects or about how you feel in a moment in time and what occurs, you will begin to feel your own creative power. And also wonderful, you will be able to feel how much universal support you have, how much non-physical focus is upon you, and how much gathering of cooperative components on your behalf is happening behind the scenes or without your conscious, focused realization. But when you do become conscious of it and you are realizing it as it unfolds, life becomes way more interesting and you begin to feel way more alive, more powerful. And the part we like the most is you begin to feel more worthy, more effective, more loved, more invincible even.
Hey, Abraham. I had some questions about finances and ultimately how to improve that vibration. We've had a lot of contrast that's inspiring evolution and growth. And what I'm realizing is I'm coming into a phase where I really need to align with that energy, that finances have ease in them, that I can have a career where I'm excited to get up in the morning. It's joyful, it's easy, it's fun, it feels automatic, but essentially is a sense of freedom. So financial freedom, but emotional freedom from worry about debts or responsibilities that feel like a burden. And I want some guidance on how to better align with that and be able to release some of the habitual patterns about struggle and effort in exchange for dollars. So I appreciate anything you can help.
Well, everything that comes to you or doesn't, you are exchanging your vibration for it. You can't get to where you want to be with a vibration that is mixed like that, where you're thinking of wanted and unwanted and wanted and unwanted and solutions and problems and questions and answers. In other words, I'm going to tell you this story, and it's going to feel ridiculous to you, but we want you to get this ridiculous. We want you to be this willing, to be this pointed about what you want. So Jerry was an entertainer, and he was traveling, and he had a portfolio, and he wanted to make a better presentation with it, and he was a master of ceremonies at some big events in big arenas. And this particular one that he was booked for, that was a few months out, was in Canada. And he decided that he wanted to get a picture of himself with the Prime Minister of Canada. He thought it would be good for his portfolio and would make him even more hireable. And so he decided that he wanted it, but he did not know how to go about it. He didn't have the status that would put him in those kinds of meetings. He was a master of ceremonies, somebody that just showed up and announced people that were coming onto the stage. And so he decided that it was going to happen while he did not know how it was going to happen. And so he began telling people, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. And to a person, when he said that to them, they said, you can't do that. That's unlikely. Are you trying to get yourself in trouble? What are you talking about? But he wasn't having any of that because he wasn't trying to face reality, and he wasn't trying to collect anybody's opinions about anything, because he had decided that he was going to get his picture taken with the Prime Minister. He wanted it. He decided that he was going to have it. Something had inspired his confidence in that way. And so he just began speaking that and only that about that subject pretty much nonstop for months. He would be at a lunch counter and the waitress would ask him what he wanted to eat, and he would say, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. And whether she was interested or not, usually she was just thinking that she was standing before a crazy person, he would say, no, really, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. when he put gasoline in his car, if there was someone standing nearby doing the same. I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. Anyone that came near him as he was traveling, usually by himself, or even when he was traveling with people that he knew, he said it, and 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 he said it. I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister, until he had developed a substantial enough momentum about it that he believed with everything that he was that he was going to have his picture taken with the Prime Minister. And then he began thinking about how that might come about. He was trying to give himself some opportunities to let his mind move in the direction of how he would accomplish that. And so he hired a photographer, and he said to the photographer, I need you to come. I'm going to be a master of ceremonies at this arena. And I'm going to, Diefenbacher, that's how long ago it was, long, long time ago, is going to address this body of people. And I'm going to bring him on stage, and I want to get my picture taken with him. And the photographer said, that's not going to happen. That's not likely. They will not allow you to do that. And Jerry said, I am going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister, and I would like to hire you to be the photographer that takes the picture. And the photographer said, you have to pay me up front, because the photographer did not believe that it was going to happen. And even if it did happen, he thought that maybe it wouldn't be a good thing for Jerry. More naysayers, in fact, all naysayers, but Jerry was going to have his picture taken with the Prime Minister. Well, what do you want me to do? Well, Jerry said, I'm going to call the Prime Minister to the stage, and he's going to come. And when he does, I'm going to reach out to shake his hand, and you get the picture. And so the photographer agreed to do it. And so Jerry was all set. He was going to have his picture taken with the Prime Minister. So I showed up early to the arena, and they were doing what they do when dignitaries are in places like that. And back then it was even more unusual. They do it much more now. They were checking under every seat. They were checking all the speakers. They were checking everything to make sure that it was a safe environment for this important person. And Jerry was allowed into the arena, and he went to sit on the front row so that he could sort of think through his own presentation and what he was about. And when he got to the front row in front of the stage, there was no one in the whole arena except the people that were looking for bombs and things, except a woman, gray-haired, sitting right there on the front row. And Jerry sat right next to her. And she said, hello. And he said, hello, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. And she said, you are? And Jerry said, yes, I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. I'm the master of ceremonies, and I'm going to have my picture taken with the Prime Minister. I've hired a photographer who will take the shot. And this woman said, well, I think that's wonderful. I am his grandmother, and I will arrange that for you. And so, without having to trip and fall in the Prime Minister's lap or trying to trick him into a handshake that he didn't plan on taking, Jerry had his picture taken with the Prime Minister, because Jerry had decided to have his picture taken with the Prime Minister, and no one and nothing was going to cause him to offer a contradictory thought to this thing that he had decided he wanted to do. It's a rare person who makes a decision like that. But when any person does make a decision, and they have meant it in a strong enough way that they will accept from no one, and especially not from themselves, any contradiction to that decision, that's when the thing that you want must be. Now, we told you it was going to be a crazy story, but we tell it to you because of the absolute nature of it. When you decide that not having enough money will not do for you, and that you want to have more money, and you tell that story, I've decided to be a prosperous person, and I've decided that money will flow easily to me, and I've decided that I will be in the right place at the right time, and I've decided that the world is awash in money, and I've decided that because I want it, and because I am not contradicting it, because I want it, because I'm talking about what I want, because I'm thinking about what I want, because I've brought myself to a place of feeling what I want, because I believe that what I want is in the process of becoming, I have decided to be a prosperous person, and nothing less than that will do. In fact, I'm not even talking about how prosperous I will be, because I'm leaving that open-ended. I will be as prosperous as I decide to be as I move through life, letting money flow to me in the way that money flows naturally to anyone who has decided that they are a prosperous being and that money must flow to them. Because I am not doing the only thing that would even ever keep money from flowing to me. I am not contradicting my own point of attraction. I'm deliberately decisive and practiced and gathering momentum about my point of attraction. You are so powerful in your point of attraction unless you contradict it. You get what you think about, and you feel what you think about. And the way you feel is your indication of what your point of attraction is. And if you feel ineffective or not incapable or unlucky or deprived, if you feel not cared for, if you feel not prosperous, if you feel unhealthy or unworthy or not able or not capable or not blessed, you're not letting in the things that are all lined up for you. And the stronger your emotion about it is, whether it's negative emotion or positive emotion, the more you have decided that you want it. But when you're feeling negative emotion, you are contradicting your own decision. And that is the reason for the negative emotion, because your inner being will never contradict your decisions. When you decide that you want something, which is, it takes much fewer words. In fact, it takes no words. When you want something, you've made a decision that you've passed that decisive baton off to your inner being, and your inner being will never contradict your decision about your prosperity, about your love life, about your physical well-being, about your happiness in the world, about your positive influence on the people who you love. Your inner being will never contradict your decision in the moment that it is born. And we want to say to you, friends, those decisions are born and get stronger and stronger every time you feel even negative emotion. In other words, your asking has nothing to do with anything other than the life that you're living and the desire that is born. But you're receiving it, you're letting it in, has everything to do with how you are allowing yourself to feel. So when you feel lonely, you cannot attract friendships or lovers. When you feel injustice, you can't attract those who will do their best to do right by you. When you feel not enoughness, you cannot attract enough. And when you feel too muchness of something you don't want, it can't leave you. The law of attraction is powerful. You are powerful. You are setting the law of attraction's motion into the direction for yourself. We're not asking you to tell everyone that you're going to have your picture taken with the Prime Minister, unless that's something that you want. We're not going to ask you to tell everyone, my lover is on the way to me. I'm a prosperous person. Money comes easily to me. We're not asking you to speak it out loud, because we know you have concern about how you are received by others. But what we want you to leave this conversation having decided, you are attracting from others opinions about you, unless they're very strong, like Jerry was. Unless they're really tuned in, tapped in, turned on, like many of you are from time to time. Most people know how you feel about them. If you're worried about them, you're not attracting what you really want to see them live. If you're worried about them, that's your point of attraction. And that's often why they don't want to be around you. They don't want to feel what they feel when they're with you. They don't even understand why they feel what they feel when they're with you. But they can feel an aversion to the things that they want when you're looking at them in a belief that they're not succeeding, or they're not having what they want, or that you feel sorry for them, or you feel worried about them. That's not the gift you came to give. You came to share your gift of attraction. Imagine how wonderfully influential you could be if you had practiced how you want to feel about someone before you're in the same room with them, so that you don't have active marbles that are working against your relationship and against their well-being and against you, and here it is, having a sort of team attraction experience where your desire for their well-being and their desire for their well-being is on the same team, and that's what you elicit from them whenever you think about them, whenever you speak about them, whenever you are with them.